Last night I had such a bad date. I'm like kind of scared for my life because this guy is kind of psycho.
Ladies, hey, welcome back to my channel. My name is Miss Kafue. So today we'll be talking about the most awkward and embarrassing dating stories or date stories you've ever had. Have you ever gotten embarrassed on a date, or have you ever gone on a very awkward date? Myself, I have, like a couple. So I'm sure every lady has such a story. Like, I feel like women really look forward to dates and getting embarrassed by the guy or either by something you yourself did is the last thing you really expect and really hope for on a date. So, ladies, I love to hear your date stories, to your most embarrassing date stories, to down below. Please comment down below. So, without further ado, let's jump into the videos. Guys, these clips are very interesting. Please stick around and I'll give my take after all the clips. So let's get into it. But before we get into it, ladies, I'm also a virtual assistant. And if you're looking for virtual assistant services, here they are. Hey there, fabulous ladies. Feeling overwhelmed with your busy schedules? Say hello to Ari's Assistance. With Ari's Assistance, you can finally say goodbye to email chaos, calendar clashes, and endless to-do lists. Do you need social media management, travel bookings, customer support, student support, research done, editing, copywriting, anything you need handled, ladies? Consider it handled. Choose from our range of personalized packages designed to fit your needs and budget. Whether you're a busy entrepreneur, a working mom, a busy girl, I got you covered. I have a plan for you. Are you ready to reclaim your time and focus on what truly matters? Visit Ari Assistance today to learn more. Begin your stress-free life today.
Last night I had such a bad date. I'm like kind of scared for my life because this guy is kind of psycho. So I met this guy on Hinge. It always starts with Hinge. He picked this like sushi restaurant. He wanted to go get sushi. I mean, he asked me what type of food I like. I told him I'm pretty much open-minded, just pick anything. And so like everything was fine, but he would kind of give me like subtle flags that he had like a small temper. Like he would get like mad over like little things, like, you know, just waiting 5 seconds for the valet person to get the car. But I'm a nice person. I'm a nice girl. I like to see the best in people, so I kind of like ignore those stuff. Big fucking mistake. So at the beginning of the day, he proceeds to say that he has never done anything like this for a woman. He said that he had to drive all the way from Beverly Hills to downtown, and he's never done that. And he's never taken out a woman on a date. So I'm like, what type of women have you been dating then? Like, so when we finished our food, he asked me what I wanted to do after. And I was like, oh, we know, whatever you want. We can go to like a bar, we can go to a club, whatever. So guess what he suggested? He said, since you have a luxury apartment, why don't we go back to your place? And I told him, absolutely not. I don't know you. I don't take people back to my place. Sorry. Respectfully. I said that very respectfully. And he got mad. He kept asking me why. Why can't I go to your place? Why can't I, there's no reason. Like, why is the reason is stupid. Kept saying because I didn't have a valid reason as to why I didn't want to let him into my apartment, that I had to let him in my apartment. At that point, I excused myself to go to the restroom. I was going to leave the date, but you know, me as a nice person, I was like, you know what? Maybe I don't know. I'm very nice. I should have fucking left because when I came back, he asked me to split the bill, which threw me off because you suggested to go out with me. You took me on a date. Now you're asking me to pay half because I didn't let you go into my apartment because you didn't get lucky. I grabbed the check. I told the waiter, he's weird. I'm leaving. Charge his card. I'm gone. This man proceeded to chase me down and hold me back and started calling me Mexican trash and broke Mexican. I don't know. He started calling me all these racial slurs. I literally left on a scooter and he started texting me all this crazy shit. I blocked him. He started calling me on unknown numbers. He starts like spamming my Instagram with comments and just disrespectful shit. Literally had to email Hinge and show Hinge all the email threads, everything. I screenshot everything. Like, I am worried I have a stalker now and could kill me because he knows where I live. Men worry about getting finessed on a date out of a meal, but women worry about literally getting killed.
So I'm gonna tell you about a date I had a few weeks ago, and trigger warning, it's a little scary. So essentially, I met this guy a few months back, but I was in a relationship back then, and really it was more of like a professional thing. So he kind of baited me and said, let's talk about, you know, this and that, like network a little bit over dinner. And I'm like, okay, cool. So I go, we have a nice dinner. He's nice. He seems to be like a nice, decent person, and just like a fun guy to be around. So then when he invited me to go to like a comedy thing, like a private comedy show, I was like, amazing, I love stand-up, like let's go. And it was a great time. He introduced me to a bunch of people. But then he was like, let's go to this house party that my friends are hosting. So I'm like, sure, we go, blah, blah, blah. And around this time, I decide that I want to stop drinking. So I get my little solo cup, I go to the sink, I'm filling up my water, and I just start making nice casual conversation to this guy sitting like next to me, and he's in film, blah, blah, blah. So I'm asking him, it's interesting. And then like 5 minutes into this conversation, while I'm just like sipping on my water, the guy that I essentially came with, but like keep in mind, it was not really a date at all for me. Like it never started this way. He comes up and he's like, what? Like, what the fuck? Like, what the fuck? Are you talking to my girl? Like, what are you doing talking to my girl? And I'm like, oh my God, like, what is happening? Like, let's just calm down. Like, oh, first of all, I'm thinking, like, I'm not your girl. Like, what the fuck? But he's like, what the fuck? You're talking to my girl? And then just punches this guy in the face, like, in front of me. Nobody saw. Nobody in the whole party saw. So it was just me and this guy in complete shock. We're sitting there in silence for 5 seconds. And then I'm like, I gotta go. I'm leaving. So as I'm calling my car, I'm like getting my coat, getting everything, I'm just getting ready to leave. This guy is following me and berating me and saying, you fucking disrespectful bitch, like blah, blah, blah. Like, you know, I brought you to this place and like you're talking to other guys, like what the fuck? Like super, very machismo, very aggressive. I'm going outside waiting for my car. He's following me. I feel unsafe being out there with him alone. So I'm like coming in and coming out. But then eventually my car comes, and as I'm getting in the car, he's like, bye, bitch, like, fuck you, bitch. And that was essentially that. So now I'm like really fucking scared to, like, this guy seemed totally normal and decent, whatever. And just like that, he switched. Like, he just switched in a second, and it was violent. So I don't know, it's definitely going to alter like how who I decide to spend my time with. And stay safe out there, girls. It's crazy.
I gotta stop being so fucking cringe, because oh my God. So Big Moto Ho is trying to get back on the dating scene, right? So I matched this guy. Beautiful, hot, tall, sexy, successful, fun. Oh my God, he's so cute. So I'm like, okay, Morgan, don't fumble the bag. Don't fuck this up. He's good looking. He's nice. Here we go. So he goes like, hey, can we chat off the app? I want to take you out this week. I was like, oh my God, yes, totally cool, super. So he texts me and he goes like, hey, what are you doing today? And I was like, like, what are you doing today? He goes, oh, well, like the only real big thing I have to do today is I have a client meeting, and then I have to go take my car into Mercedes to get it serviced. And I was like, oh, that's so cool. I love Mercedes. And he writes back like, oh, are you big into cars too? I lie. I say, oh my God, absolutely, duh, biggest car girl here, boom, boom, knowing I haven't had a fucking oil change since like the beginning of Iwo Jima, like what the fuck? And so he's like, oh yeah, you big in Mercedes? I said, oh my God, love the foreigns. And he's like, what's your favorite Mercedes? Without thinking, I write back, oh, without a doubt, the Mac 11. He writes back, what? And I was like, Mac 11, question mark? Then he writes back, Mac 11, like the gun? Oh my fucking God. And I was like, no, this can't be. No, Mac 11. So I Google Mac 11. It's a fucking gun. I so confidently was like, oh yeah, I'm a cool fucking car girl. Yeah, the Mac 11, vroom, vroom, baby, Autobahn all day. That's a fucking gun. You want to know why I said Mac 11? I've recently started to get into rap music, and they talk about Mac 11s, so I thought they were talking about their nice-ass fucking cars. That's why I said that. Oh my God, I'm so fucking cringe. And he writes back, he's like, so I'm going to take it you're not a car girl, LOL. And I wrote back and I said, no, I'm not there, Doug. So, anyways, dinner Thursday, or is that off?
I went on a date with a guy. It was our first date. We had fajitas and margaritas. It was good. It was a vibe. He was funny. He was nice. He was like, hey, do you want to go back to my house to watch a movie? And I was like, sure. We get to his house and he takes me to his room. I sit on his bed and then he immediately goes into the bathroom. You know, no big deal, whatever. You gotta go potty? You gotta go potty. But he didn't close the door. He pulled down his pants and he sat on the toilet. And I'm thinking maybe he sits when he pees. Like, that's fine. I don't judge. I don't care. Whatever. And he's sitting there for a minute. I'm like, what are you doing? And he's like, ugh, I'm pooping. Who does that? Who does that?
So I've been on a couple first dates recently, and I'm starting to think that I'm not very good at going on first dates. So here's some times I've given myself the ick on first dates. I was on a date with this guy who's been on TV, and we got in a little bit of a debate. So I took my phone out to Google something in front of him. Never Google something in front of your first date. Guess what my Google search history was? Guess what it was? Guess what it was? Let's just say his name was Liam Smith. My search history was Liam Smith ex-girlfriend. Does Liam Smith have a girlfriend? Is Liam Smith single? Liam Smith interviews. Do we think Liam Smith is hot? Is Liam Smith nice? So I was like, that wasn't me. How does my phone know we're on a first date right now? I'm calling Apple. Hackers. But then he let me go on a second date with him. Not sure why. Still don't know why. And my phone was on the table and my friends texted me and said, are you still pretending like you have to leave early so that you can hang out with us after this? And I'm not sure if he saw it, but I never saw him again. So shout out to you, Liam Smith. I'm so sorry. And then I was on a date two nights ago. After 3 drinks, there was a topic that I really wanted to bring up, but I knew I shouldn't bring it up, so I waited until 3 drinks to bring it up. I was like, quick question, do you believe in ghosts? Doesn't matter what you say, I'm not listening because clearly there is something going on with me right now. And I promised myself I wouldn't talk about it. But I've had 3 drinks. He was like, not really. And I was like, okay, I am so glad you brought this up. So there is a dead person that talks to me at night. I think. That's what I said to him. I said that to him after he said he's not sure about the whole ghost thing. And he was like, okay. And that was our first date. So yeah, I did tell him that there sometimes might be a dead person that talks to me at night. I didn't say every night. And then I realized what I had done, so I was like, I don't know if he's dead. But then it just sounds like there's just a random man in my apartment every night talking to me. Anyways, let me know if any of you want to go on a first date with me. So yeah.
I went on a date with a guy. It was fine. I picked up a few icks though, and I didn't want to go on a second one. He wanted to, and wasn't really getting the vibe I was trying to put down, that I wasn't into it. So I sent him a very kind rejection text that basically said, I think you're a great guy. I had a lot of fun. At the time, I thought this was true, but I don't think I'm feeling the connection that you're feeling. Something, I wish you well. He then responded by telling me that I was overestimating my position in the situation and that he never wanted to date me in the first place, even though he wanted to go on a second date, and that I need to get over myself. I responded by telling him that he had a fragile ego. This, of course, only added fuel to the fire, so then I received a few paragraphs telling me that I am simple and uninteresting and myopic. What does myopic mean? I didn't know. I had to Google it. He was just calling me simple-minded. After these paragraphs, I blocked him and did not respond. And I realized that, first off, I just should not have responded in the first place. I should not have brought my ego into the situation to call out his ego. The second thing I realized, it's more of an observation. This is not men bashing at all. I think it's just illuminating as to how women are conditioned versus how men are conditioned. Neither of which in this situation are good. When women get rejected, it's what's wrong with me? We turn inwards. What did I do? What do I lack? When men get rejected, at least in my experiences, it's been an outward projection. What's wrong with you? You're crazy. There's nothing wrong with me. I just think that this is fascinating. But the biggest takeaway, we know what myopic means now.
I'm finally ready to share my worst first date story. So it's a Saturday night and we're going to this restaurant. It's like a rooftop for dinner and drinks. He was running a little bit late, and when he shows up, he was wearing a suit. This place was not that fancy, and he was not coming from work. I think I just felt a little bit weird because I was dressed on the more casual side, and then he's in a suit, and I was just like, what's happening? We sit down, we're chatting like normal. He asked me what I was looking for because, you know, we met online, and then he asked me this question. He asked me if I'm talking to other guys, if it's serious, and how many. He proceeds to tell me that I'm the only girl he's talking to and that I'm at the top of the list, and I'm just thinking, like, there is no list, it's just me. Throughout the rest of the day, he just keeps making jokes about how he has a lot of toxic masculinity traits, and like, that's not funny or attractive to me, so I was just looking at him like, okay. Guys, this next part, like, I didn't even know how to respond. I almost had no words. This man really asked me for essentially a pros and cons list of the things that I liked and didn't like about him so that he could change it for our second date. Like, I can't even imagine asking somebody that I just met to tell me what they don't like about me so that I can change it so that we can go on a second date. Like, this is who I am. It was just screaming, like, desperate, insecure, and not attractive. So, needless to say, there was not a second date.
The most embarrassing and worst date I ever went on was with this guy who I had only gone on like 2 other dates with, so this is like our 3rd date, and I foolishly agreed to go to the mountains with him and stay overnight at a cabin in the woods. I was really excited the night before and the morning of because I really liked him, so I didn't eat for like 16 hours, and the first thing that we did when we got to the mountains was go on the hot springs. We're having a good time, we're chilling in the hot springs for like an hour, and he suggests that we go get food, so we go to the change rooms, and on my way to the change rooms, I started to get really lightheaded, and then I started to see stars, and then as I like found my locker, I fainted. I was unconscious for like 30 minutes. I woke up to a bunch of girls, staff, and like paramedics hovering over me, and the side of my head was bleeding because I had hit a bench on my way down. Fast forward, we go to the ER, they patch me up, and I pretty much look like this for the rest of our date. But it gets worse. So he's trying to salvage the date, and we go to the Japanese like sushi place, but there's no good sushi places in the mountains. And then right after we go to the cabin, but we were catfished because like the pictures in the cabin look nothing like what the actual cabin looked like. Like, this cabin was straight out of like a horror slasher film. I run to the bathroom as soon as we get there because the sushi like isn't sitting right with me, and then I proceed to have fucking diarrhea for like 2 hours. There's no vent, and the window in the bathroom was jammed, so I had to get him to help me open it. He was literally like this while he was trying to open the window. After slicing my head open, having explosive diarrhea, and being concussed, I was like, I think it's time for me to go to sleep. He was being such a good sport about it, even though he wasn't sleepy. But remember, the cabin is really creepy, so he turned the TV on to like try to like calm himself down while I was crashing. But what he didn't know about me was that I talk in my sleep. And while I'm there like crashing, he's like trying to watch TV, and then out of nowhere, I was like, my friends are here. My dream like mimicked our cabin. I lucid dream a lot, and that my friends were at the cabin with me for some reason, and I said it out loud, and he was so spooked that he literally shoved me to wake me up, and I'm like, what happened? Anyway, I'm glad he got through that date because we've been together ever since.
If you ever feel bad about yourself, one time I had a crush on a guy in my friend group, and we were texting like separately, and he told me something and I totally freaked out about it. Like, I thought it was the cutest thing in the world, and so I sent it to my best friend, and I was like, oh my god, like, I'm so obsessed with him. I sent it to her, and then I went to the gym and put my phone on do not disturb, and by the time I was done, about an hour and a half later, I checked my phone and I had 10 missed calls from my best friend telling me to look at the chat, at the group chat of everyone in my friend group at the moment. And it turns out that I didn't send it to my best friend. I sent it in the group chat that he was in, along with all of his best friends. And it was up there for an hour. Like, I had to just take the L like a champ. And that haunts me to this day. That was about 4 years ago, and I think about it very often, because I think that is top 3 most embarrassing moments for me. So if you So if you ever feel bad about yourself, just remember this. It literally cannot get worse than that. Like, oh my god.
Most awkward thing that's happened to you on a date. I accidentally said I love you during the deed. I drove home in silence afterwards.
Oh, fuck's sake.
He told the waiter she'll have a salad. She needs it.
Huh?
I never spoke to him again.
What? Fam?
Took me to a Thai restaurant and told me women are just snakes with tits. The date was being long in the toilet. I belled her phone, but she left it at the table. I was saved as food number 4. Food number 4. There's 3 men before me, and there's another man with an actual name before that.
So there's Andre.
There's Andre,
There's
food
food
number 1 to 3, 1, 2, and 3, and then there's me, number 4. Food had 4.
Stop.
I think I went on the most embarrassing date of all time.
Oh my God.
My freshman year of college, there was an upperclassman. She was a junior or a senior. She was an older woman and she was so beautiful. I had such a big crush on her and you actually knew her. So I told you to, put in a good word for me. Go see what the vibes are. See if she's feeling Peyton back. You came back to me and you're like, Peyton? Absolutely not. She wants no parts.
No go, buddy.
I like this woman way too much to just give up now. So a couple months go by and she finally gives in and says, Peyton, you know what? Let's go on a date.
It was like a sympathy, like a sick little dog that you don't really want to take in, but you're like, man, should I feed this dog? Yeah, I'll do it, I guess.
I was preparing. I took 2 showers that night. I was feeling real good. I was going to take her out to go eat. I was a freshman in college. Dead broke. But I saved up a little coinage to be able to take her out
to McDonald's.
It was like probably Chili's or something. So we drive to this restaurant. We're having good conversation in the car. She's liking the music I'm playing. Vibes are immaculate. This is going well. This is going to be my wife here in about a week and a half. We're eating the dinner. Good cuisine.
Good McChicken.
The dinner's over. Time for the waiter to bring the bill. No problem. I've been saving up money for this.
I have the means to do this once.
Waiter puts the bill on the table. I grab it immediately. Gentlemen, I'm going to pay for this. Don't worry. I got that guap. I look at the bill. Hurt the chest a little bit.
Hurt the chest. That Chili's is sick.
I didn't want to do the 2 for $25 because I didn't want her to know I was broke.
Get whatever you want. Just not the ribs.
Stop ordering the margaritas.
That's enough.
I see the bill. I go to grab my wallet.
Oh,
I'm reaching around. Like,
oh no.
No wallet in the pocket. And she goes, what's wrong? I go, oh, nothing. I think I left my wallet in my car. Let me go grab that. Yeah. I thought there was a chance that I left my wallet in the car. It might have slipped out of the pockets. I got loose pockets. I go to my car. I'm like, okay. In the car, there's like that dungeon right beside the middle console and the seat. I'm going in there. I'm cutting up my hand trying to find it. I have no wallet. I brought no money to this date. But then I remember my mom always put an emergency fund in the glove compartment. Mama Harden, thank you. 3 $20 bills in there, and that was for emergencies only. I grabbed that $60. I go back into the restaurant. I sit down on the table and I look. The bill is gone. My date is just looking at me. I'm like, where'd the bill go? She goes, oh, don't worry. I already paid for it. Oh, you did what? I left my wallet in my car, and she goes, did you leave your wallet in your car?
God, she knew. She's pressing you.
I go to show her that I actually have the money. I'm like, look. She goes, that's an emergency fund your mom left you, isn't it? And I go, what? No. And she goes, don't worry. My mom used to do that for me when I was a kid, too. Oh, shit. Damn. That one single tear started rolling down my cheek.
That's brutal.
I go, well, I don't want you to pay for it, so here, just take this. And she goes, I don't need your money. I was like, I don't want to be here anymore.
You are that little sick rib cage showing dog on the side of the road at this point.
We didn't go on a second date, and fast forward to 2022, she's now married to an NFL player.
Money's not an issue there, buddy.
She'll probably never touch a Chili's again.
Ladies, I really can't with some of these stories, especially the lady who went on a date and then the guy started yelling racial slurs. Hey, but also something I don't understand about this lady. How does she say that they ended the date and she went back home, but also at the end of the day she says that the guy knows where she lives and now she has a stalker? I don't understand now. Don't understand there. And she's right about one thing. Men worry about getting finessed out of a male. But women actually worry about their safety. Like, will I get killed if I go on that date? Will I come back alive? Like, I'm sure all of us ladies have had that thought somewhere at the back of, or even at the front of your mind. So the girl who pretended to know about cars and ended up saying like, her favorite car or something is a Mach 11, and a Mach 11 is a gun all this time just because she was listening to rap music recently. I really felt embarrassed on her behalf because what the hell? And then the guy who pooped with the door wide open, really? And then this girl who admitted like she went on a date, and as soon as she opened her Chrome page, the search history was all about Liam Smith. And Liam Smith is the guy they're on a date with. Oh my God. Oh my God. That is so embarrassing. And then tell me why. This girl who sent a man a very respectful text telling him she loved the date, but she isn't interested anymore. Tell me why the guy got so angry. And tell me, like, that screams entitlement and that screams you can't handle rejection. You're not mature enough to handle rejection. Men hardly handle rejection well. So, my advice is I think if you're not interested in someone, leave quietly. Please don't tell them. Just leave quietly. Especially if you're an asset, please leave quietly because these people will try to harm you. So, something I've also learned from this video is that when women get rejected, they project their anger or feelings inward, like they start asking themselves, what's wrong with me? But when men get rejected, they project everything outside. They start asking you, what's wrong with you? Oh, now you're not pretty. Look at you, you're a hoe. Oh, I never even liked you. Look at how big your head is. As if he didn't see all these features when he was stalking you and wanting so bad to date you. You're like, come on. And to handle rejection. Then the girl who says like what she learned about the whole thing was the meaning of myopic. Oh my God. And then this lady who says that the man showed up wearing a whole suit. That can be so embarrassing. Like when someone is so overdressed. When someone is so overdressed for a particular event or a place, that can be so embarrassing. And then never ask someone, what do you like about me? I mean, you know yourself, you know what you bring to the table, you know the kind of energy you exude. Why will you ask someone what they like about you? Okay, you might ask if maybe you're well acquainted with the person, but not on a first date. Like, come on, you might ask sometime like, "Hi, by the way, babe, what do you really like about me?" Like, yes, you already know what she brings to the table, but that is a person who now you're courting or you're dating. But on a first date, what do you like about me? That screams insecurity. I have to agree with that lady. And the lady who didn't eat for 16 hours because she was going on a date screams so insecure. Like, ladies, don't ever harm yourself to impress anyone. Put effort, but don't go overboard. Because, trust me, they literally smell the insecurity in you. And the lady who forwarded her crush's sex to the group chat, oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God, I still understand why she says that still haunts her. And then this last guy whose mom put $60 in the glove compartment, and then the lady admitted to knowing that hack. Oh Lord, that is also embarrassing. That proves that men also go on embarrassing dates from time to time. So I really found all these stories very hilarious. I don't know what your favorite is. Please share them below which one you loved most. So I'd also love to know, have you ever been on an embarrassing or an awkward date? Please share down below. I'd love to read your story. So anyway, guys, thank you for sticking around with me this long. Like, thank you. Like, if you stuck around this long, you're a real one. So watch the next video, which is even more interesting. For the meantime, ladies, do something nice for yourself and love on yourself. Bye.